Alright, hey guys. Funny thing, I just tried to make my second Fire Crew video, and I talked for like 13 minutes using the YouTube record version, and only to find out that my microphone hadn't been turned on, so I'm talking for 13 minutes. All you're seeing is... It's like, no. Anyways, you guys don't care about that. Let's go to the second video. Alright, my first Fire Crew was the recon style. We basically cheated knowing everything that was going to go on. This second style is called my Blitzkrieg style, and while the recon emphasizes my, I guess, obsession to have the unfair advantage of knowledge, the Blitzkrieg style talks about how I really operate. Okay, for me, Blitzkrieg is having, in Fire Emblem, mounted units that can cover the field and just wipe out anyone, whether attacking or defending. I'm talking Paladins and the Pegasus mounted units. Pokemon, it's one hit, one kill to make sure that they do not get a chance to do anything. And if they do, make them regret being able to have that second, giving me the second turn. Okay. Enough about that. Let's talk One Piece. Now, my fruit will emphasize this Blitzkrieg specialization crew. I will have the speed fruit. That means I can speed up whatever I want, be that my mental faculties, my body, or anything around me. This would be culminated in me being able to go hypersonic, basically shooting across the ocean like a Mach 3 capable jet. I would, because of these speeds, I would have to train up my observation and armament hockey, along with being able to increase the mental capacity, the mental computation of my brain, so that way I don't slam into things and anything like that. Also, I would have a pair of goggles and a noseless polarized mask just for the bugs. I probably need something covering my face too, because I imagine swallowing bugs at that speed would not be well. Anyways, I would use the speed fruit to just pummel my opponents. Kind of like Luffy with Gatling guns. His Gatling gun attacks only much faster and thus much harder. Because, as you know, force equals mass times acceleration, and I'd be accelerating a lot. Alright. That's my double fruit. Let's talk my place on the crew. I would be the navigator. Now, I've already got navigational skills thanks to my time with the Boy Scouts. It's for land, yes, but I imagine on a world that's got even more water than ours, an island world, that those skills would be translated over to naval navigation with what I've learned. So I would be a navigator. Alright, my fighters. Kizaru has the light fruit. That is the fastest thing around. So I would have him. I might have to kick his rear end into gear every once in a while given his attitude. But then again, if I get good enough to go as fast as the speed of light, then it's possible I could do that. Had to look out for relatively. Anyways, Inaru is next with the lightning, his rumble fruit, or as I like to call it, just the lightning fruit. Lightning is one of the fastest things on this planet, only slower than light to itself. So he would be really good of just going in, out, knocking everybody out. Plus he's got the long distance bit, and he's got the shock. Kizaru might be a problem child. Inaru would be the devil child, so I'd really have to knock that ego down. Maybe like find him on our way up to Skypia, and he's tormenting all the Skypians, and I just go, me and Kizaru just go and just right out flatten him in 10 seconds flat with our increased speed, knock out all of his teeth and go, okay, look, you got two choices, buddy. You can either swear eternal loyalty to me and join us, or I'm going to kick your ass even further, straight up to the moon. So, yeah, after his little disbelief thing, he'd join up. Might be a little, what's that word? Might be a little bullheaded at first, but I'd get him in line. Next up is Rob, Lucy, and Kaku from CP9. Oh, yes, these guys are great. These two would be my enablers, all right? So, first off, they'd be my shipwrights because they've served as shipwrights for 5 years. Not pretended to be, not acted like shipwrights. They had to actually have the training to do their job for 5 years. That means that while they aren't on the level of Frankie and Tom, they're still good enough that they'd keep us afloat very easily. Now, they're both zones, which means they can take one hell of a beating. They'd basically be my Abrams tanks on the place. Able to go really fast, and yet still take a beating. Now, they've also got the 6 arts, which would also be very useful, and I could see them training the others in this. Now, moving on, we've got Zoro. This guy has power in spades. I mean, do you guys ever see what he weight lifts with his mouth? The weights are bigger than his body. That takes strength. So, while he's not what I would consider the fastest, he can trail along behind the vanguard and just make sure everybody who we might have given love taps stays down. Of course, his directional abilities leave much to be desired, but we can work around with that. I mean, we got super fast people. We could just zip in, grab him by the ear, and yank him over to where he needs to go. Alright, Sanji, like Zoro, he has the power, but he also has great leg strength. So I could see him learning the 3 techniques from CP9 and just absolutely tearing it up. Well, 2 techniques. He's already got Skywalk. Also, he would serve as our cook because, let's face it, if I was the cook, we'd just be having peanut butter jelly sandwiches and microwavable pizza every day. So, definitely Sanji as the cook. Now, Brook would be our musician, obviously, but he's also extremely light. He'd actually be able to keep up with me on the water, I think, as long as I keep my speed reasonable. Speed reasonable on walking on water. Anyway, so we'd be like the patrol partners. Inaru and Kizaru might be partners in patrolling as well, though I don't think I'd want those two spending long periods of time together alone. Who knows what they'd get into. Anyways, Brook. Also, Brook his revival fruit that deals with the soul. If we ever get into a scuffle with Big Mom's people in Tauntland, oh, good lord. Okay, Brook managed to take out Zeus. You just slice him up. Big Mom, not a scratch, but he could affect her homies. Now, she's got an archipelago full of all these homies that are all the souls. I could just see him. He doesn't even have to awaken his devil fruit to be effective, but I could just see him awakening, pulling out his sword, taking one slash, and every homie within like 10 miles just their souls going flying away with little wings and angel hearts. That would be badass. Alright. Next up on the support is Chopper as our doctor. Obviously, he's not going to be our cook. Okay, Chopper's walk point allows him the needed speed to traverse large areas relatively quickly, so that way he could get to us in case we get over our heads. And he's got enough strength to keep us relatively safe while he works. And if all else fails, he's got the monster point, but I would consider that the last-ditch effort. Because, like I said, this is the Blitzkrieg crew. We hit them hard, we hit them fast. So, He'd be in the back, and I'd make sure he'd be able to handle mooks, but let's see. What was it that Tsunade said? A medic should be the last person harmed? Which, quite frankly, I think that's a little unfair to the medics because you can be strong while being able to heal people, but in this case, I would say, yes, Chopper, hang back. Let us handle the first wave. Then if we miss anyone or they try to ambush us while some of us are injured, which would be really hard because we've got Kizaru, me, and Inaru. Also Zoro and Sanjay, who'd have observational hockey at that point, plus our backup sniper of Usopp. But yeah, hang back, only fight after the first wave. Hell, maybe even after the second wave if we're good. Only after the second wave if we're good enough. Which we would be in the new world. We would be basically just one big wave coming after everybody, sweeping everyone away. So Chopper would have to stay safe. Now, Vivi would be our negotiator and diplomat. She has a spot-built supersonic duck. Enough said. I can see her armor up the duck, armor up her, give them good weapons like wing blades for Karoo, talons on his feet. Give Vivi the Kusarigama like I said in the last video. And she would just hit, run all day long. And I can see her just like wrapping people up with the Kusarigama and having Karoo shoot off like dragging them along like they're in some kind of Looney Tunes cartoon. That would be hilarious as hell. Also, she'd be more along. Also, I think she'd be able to keep most of us in line, though she'd need help. She's going to get that, though. Usopp is going to be our sniper. Now, he's already got observational hockey. He's shown that he can fire things miles away and hit. Take the Tower of Justice shooting on the Bridge of Hesitation. Take Just Rosa. He has the distance capability to keep up with us Vanguard, without having to be constantly relocating. But he will need to relocate occasionally. So he is super fast. His Usopp dash is well, it's always trailed off as funny with the dust clouds, but the fact remains he can be fast when he needs to. He's got the leg strength. So I'd put him training with Kaku and Rob Lucy. It'd terrify the hell out of him because Rob is perfection. He's like, if you don't get this down, I'm going to kick your head off. Sir, don't kill me. But once he's trained up, he can be up in the air sniping, like just zipping around all over the place. Pew, 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 death from above. So that'd be good. Plus, he's durable enough. He might be able to learn Tekei, though I'd imagine he'd prefer using the paper arts to avoid getting hit when needed. So that's Usopp. Next person is Miss Valentine, who would be my reconnaissance person, because due to her Kilo fruit, she'd be able to float up high up in the air. Maybe have a camera with her taking the aerial pictures, so that way we know what's going on. Also, her fruit allows her to be really, really fast on the ground. She, makes herself 5 kilos, just zips all over, and then once it's time for her to hit someone, I would teach her armament hockey and observation hockey to be sure, but even without that, she's zipping up to someone, and right before their fist hits them, she ramps it up to 10,000 kilos, and wham! Literally knocks your block off, if not just tossing you through about 10 different buildings. That would be great and very helpful. Now, the last one is Robin, and yes, I went on with my last video. Oh, she's not mandatory. She's not mandatory. I'm not having her for the poneglyphs. Not at first, because I imagine that with a good enough observational hockey, you can. I mean, Brook could probably, if he awakens it, listens to the soul of the poneglyphs and that understand what's going on there. Enru might, if his observational hockey gets good enough. Basically, there are plenty of ways we could do it. Plus, I mean, the poneglyphs are only so secretive because the world government banned learning the language. Just treat them like any code, get enough of a sample size, and I'm sure with Rob Lucci and Kaku could probably even, what is that? What's that word? Probably just sneak into a world government base, and I'm sure they've got someone who knows it. Because, I mean, they're looking for the ancient weapons as well, so have them to infiltrate. That's the word I was thinking. Infiltrate a government base once we find out who has that knowledge. Get their notes or whatever and get out and we'd be good. So, Robin's not going to be mandatory because of the poneglyphs. I want her because of her devil fruit. She could have a third eye on all of us, an ear behind our other ear, our normal ears, and maybe a mouth hidden like, I don't know, neck joint or somewhere. She would act as our communications hub. She'd be staying on the ship or whatever building we're using as our forward operating base and just keep us all in touch with each other. Because like I said, this is going to be a Blitzkrieg and we are going to be moving fast. We'll also probably be splitting up to go solo just so that way we're out of each other's ways. So we need to stay in contact. Plus, I mean, there's Zoro. We'd need to know where he is at all times, if only so that way we can run over to him when he's on the other side of the island, pick him up, and put him where he needs to go. Like a cat holding the scruff of its kitten's neck just because it got out of the wrong piece. But, yeah, also, she was in an assassination. She's a former assassin. She's been on her own for 20 years. The girl knows how to survive. She could infiltrate a place if we need her. Plus, if someone does manage to reach our ship or command base, she'd be able to keep herself safe both until one of us got back there. Maybe wouldn't even need one of us back there. So, yes, Robin would definitely be a good support person. Alright, that is everything for my crew members. Oh, let's see, I had for a flag last time the 2 telescopes replacing the bones. I think what I would do for mine is have like a lightning bolt as one bone and an arrow for the other. Lightning bolt and a beam of light, like a flashlight showing up. Beam of light. Yeah, that would work. Anyways, next video I do, I believe I'm going to have an alternate universe style one where I can do a few crossovers. That's going to take a little bit of thinking because, I mean, I'm kind of limited with the 12 crew members only because with my recon, I had a lot of ideas, but I was limited, so what can you do, right? It's a video format. Anyways, see you around, guys.